Hello you most beautiful and most amazing top 10ers, how are you doing today? I'm Rebecca Felgate and today I am bringing you a much anticipated follow-up to the top 10 biggest dogs. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have the top 10 smallest dogs. Sure, they might be small, but they have big hearts. In at number 10, one of my favourites, we have the classic pug. Pugs, by the way, did you know, were a favourite of Queen Victoria of England in the late 1800s. Pugs were thought to have originated in China and were brought over from China to Europe in the 16th century. Pugs are wrinkly little cuties with lovable, playful personalities, although they do have a penchant for napping. They actually sound a lot like me. Pugs tend to be around 10 inches tall, but are on the chunkier end of the weight spectrum for small dogs, weighing between 14 and 18 pounds. Pugs! I love them. In at number 9, we have the Tibetan Spaniel. These little honeys can be traced back over 2,500 years and share ancestry with the feisty Pekingese, pugs and Japanese chins. These dogs were traditionally small monastery dogs and would keep watch over the Tibetan countryside. Actually not technically a spaniel, the Tibetan Spaniel is a very cat-like dog. Measuring a maximum of 10 inches, the Tibetan Spaniel weighs between 9 and 15 pounds, again making them one of the bulkier dogs on this list. These long-haired beauties are very intelligent and highly affectionate. In at number 8, we have the Toy Poodle. Hurrah! Toy Poodles are teeny weeny poodles who are just as elegant and intelligent as their larger counterparts. Toy Poodles weigh around 5 to 10 pounds and grow to just 10 inches. Toy Poodles require quite a lot of grooming and they are on no means a low maintenance dog. Toy Poodles are the smallest of the poodle family, smaller than the miniature. Poodles can be traced back to Germany, but the standardized breeds we know today were developed in France. They so fancy! Miniature poodles usually live around 14 years, so you have plenty of time for poodle fun. In at number 7, we have the Japanese Chin. Shout out to the one and only Japanese Chin in my life, Kiki. Japanese Chins were traditionally the dog of Japanese nobility, so in other words, they fancy. First hand, I can say that Japanese Chins are A, teeny, and B, curious little fellows that love to cock their head at you when they're trying to understand what you're saying. Japanese Chins grow between 8 to 11 inches and they tend to weigh around 10 pounds or less. They look bigger than they are generally because they're so very fluffy. Chins are pretty cat-like in their attitude and are said to be quite independent but loyal at the same time. They're obviously even smaller when they're puppies, when they can look like cute little aliens. Here is a picture of Kiki as a puppy emerging from a bath. In at number 6, we have the Yorkshire Terrier. I love a Yorkshire Terrier and they're from my favourite place in the whole world, Yorkshire, England. The Yorkshire Terriers are also known as Yorkies and were first bred in the 19th century to catch rats working in mills. These days they are a toy group dog and they're very popular in kennel clubs in the States and the UK. These tiny little companions are usually around 5 to 6 pounds in weight with a maximum ideal show weight of just 7 pounds. Usually Yorkies have a max height of 9 inches. Many love a Yorkie as a pet, although they aren't your usual lap dogs due to their bark and overprotective nature. In at number 5, we have the Maltese dogs. It's so fluffy, I'm actually gonna die. Maltese dogs belong in the toy group and originate from, like their name suggests, the central Mediterranean country of Malta. Some say Maltese breeds date all the way back to the ancient Greeks. The top end average weight for an adult Maltese is 7 pounds, but they can weigh as little as 3 pounds. These dogs are around 8 to 10 inches fully grown and they're just so fluffy. Despite being fluffy, they actually don't shed, so they're really good for people with allergies. They're very energetic and playful and they love their humans. These cuties tend to live around 14 years and are absolutely great companions. The only issue is they tend to enjoy a good long bark. In at number 4, we have the Toy Fox Terrier. I love their ears, they're like burp. Toy Fox Terrier owners can trace their dog's lineage back to one smooth fox terrier called Foiler. Now Foiler was around in Britain in the late 1800s. Watchful breeding over generations resulted in the United Kennel Club declaring the Toy Fox Terrier a breed of dog in 1936. These tiny little cuties are usually around 8.5 inches and weigh between 3.5 to 9 pounds, which is tiny. In at number 3, we have the Russian Toy. Originally bred in Russia from the English Toy Terrier, these teeny tiny dogs are very small indeed. There are two types of coat for these Russian beauts: smooth and long. The long-haired look a little bit bulkier because of their furry coats. Popular mainly in Russia until the 1990s when they started being bred worldwide, the dogs were originally bred as pest control. They also made very handy watchdogs. If you met one, then you will hear from their bark that they're probably still very good at the latter job. Russian Toys vary between 7.5 inches to around 10 inches and tend to weigh between just 2.5 pounds to 7.5 pounds. In at number 2, we have the miniature Dachshund. Ooh. Also lovingly dubbed the wiener dog or the sausage dog, these little beauties are usually just 5 to 7 inches at the withers and weigh around 8 to 11 pounds. They're so small and their paws are like... Dachshunds as a breed were developed in Germany from around the 16th century. The name apparently means badger dog in German, although this is hilarious as badgers are pretty big and ferocious, unlike the Dachshund. Should I do this again? Me! Mini Dachshund breeding started happening on a bigger scale in around 1910. These teeny little cute trotters come in different hair lengths and colours, all of which are very adorable. Miniature Dachshunds tend to live around 12 to 14 years and are high-spirited and independent. So, what is the tiniest dog in the world? The smallest of all of the breeds? At number 1, we have the Chihuahua. Does anyone remember that song that was like, "Oh, Chihuahua"? We need to find it. The Chihuahua is the smallest breed of dog. They're just so dinky. Living between 10 to 18 years, Chihuahuas make lovely little pets. Originating from Mexico, the Chihuahua comes in various different coat lengths and colours. There is some evidence to suggest that the Chihuahuas are related to the ancient Techichi dogs depicted in tomb drawings as far back as 300 BC. Generally speaking, adult Chihuahuas can be as small as 6 inches. Some do, however, reach around 9 inches. They also tend to weigh between 4 and 6 pounds, which is pretty much how much I can put on following Christmas dinner, so they're very small. Chihuahuas are not ideal for families with small children, but do make very loyal pets. They can be provoked quite easily, but often they say the temperament of these dogs is reflective of that of their owner. I mean, fun to say, fun to hang out with. Chihuahua. 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 So I hope you enjoyed this top 10 smallest dogs. I've had so much fun because basically it meant that the past few hours I got to look at dog pictures to research this video. So any suggestions about cute animals, leave them in the comments section down below. Also, do let me know if you have a dog or a pet in general. Let's start some good pet chat down below and I'll be writing about them. I actually have a black Labrador back in England who's very big, but I love dogs of all shapes and sizes. I've been Rebecca Felgate. This has been Most Amazing Top 10. If you like this video, if you're a dog lover, make sure you give it a good thumbs up, share it with a friend, and of course subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10. And I will see you beauties next time. Meanwhile, please do send me pictures of dogs because I love them. Bye!